In Brockton, we swing for the fences so we can touch home.
We coach in Brockton to instill the teamwork that builds a great winning tradition.
We do business in Brockton because here you can find a taste of home away from home.
We keep our company in Brockton because we love this city.
I study and learn in Brockton to achieve my goals.
When Brockton is home, everything is within reach. Hi, this is Brockton Mayor Bill Carpenter welcoming you to this week's edition of Shoe City Scoop. During the past week, the City of Brockton lost a true friend and a champion with the passing of retired Chief of Police Bob Hayden. We are dedicating this week's show to looking back at the 1 year that Chief Hayden served here in the City of Brockton. I hope you'll enjoy these memories that we have together of Chief Hayden.
I wanted to introduce you to a person I fell in love with last summer, shortly before, in between falling off the mountain and getting run over by the SUV. There was a small window of opportunity there. And how I met Jafet. This is Jafet, a person who I both admire and respect. He's 14 years old. If we had half the courage that this young man does, there wouldn't be a criminal left in Brockton. I was on the way out the door in the lobby of the police station, going somewhere. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. And I always say hello to the people in the lobby. Most of them are there because something unpleasant has happened to them. So I always stop and say, how are you doing? Do you need any help? And I saw Jafet and his father approaching the barrier there where you go to ask for something. And I said to his dad, I saw Jafet had obviously been badly injured in some kind of an accident. And I stopped, and I said to the dad, are you okay, sir? Do you need anything? What's going on? And it was a couple of days before that, there was a homicide. It was in the Cape Verde community, I believe. And Haitian. Jafet's father was there to procure a police detail, to be at the house where the poor woman was killed, so that a group could come and honor her, maybe march. And I said, no, there's no detail involved here. You're gonna get motorcycles, you're gonna get cruisers, you're gonna get all of the things that you should get from your police department for nothing. I mean, that's what we do. We're not charging you for something like that. I apologize, I didn't remember which community, but I can honestly say I've had like 5 concussions since I got here. And, 3 of them happened in the mayor's office. He's not that nice to me. So, I asked him about his son, what happened. I'm not gonna, there's no embarrassing this guy, but in Haiti, he was caught up in a horrific fire, and 90% of his body was burned. And he came to America to get some corrective surgery. And I looked at him, look at me, mister. I fell in love with the guy. I just fell in love with him. So I said, would he like to see the police station? And we went all over the police station. He sat on the motorcycles. And, I called Lisa Fonts, who's over there, and asked her if we could do something for him. And she and I decided that we'd like to make him the honorary police, something like my title, honorary acting interim temporary police chief. So we did. He got a badge. We had a ceremony upstairs for him. And I made sure that he gave the cops orders. And they stood up at roll call with him. And he got the motorcycles were going out in the street for the first time. And I said, you guys don't move until the acting chief tells you. So they all lined up at the where they get on the ramp. And they're all waiting. And they're looking at me and looking at him. And I finally went like this, Jafet, send him out. And he goes, go. This little guy is one of the things I'll never forget about Brockton. He's in my heart. He's in all of our hearts. Just love him.
In the spring, you'll even see expanded walking beats both in business districts and high-traffic areas. We're investing in technology to make our officers more effective. This year, you will see us introduce the GIS mapping of crime data to predict where crimes are more likely to occur so that we can direct our resources accordingly. We will also introduce Nextdoor, an online tool to develop virtual neighborhood watch and facilitate neighbor-to-neighbor communications, including two-way communication with the police department. And we are following through on our promise to increase the number of police officers with a class of 9 recruits recently selected to enter the police academy in March. And for the first time, that class of new officers will reflect the diversity of our city. We have targeted the city's most hardcore criminals. We believe that if you identify and remove the most frequent repeat offenders, crime will go down. The detective unit compiled a list of the city's top 40 repeat offenders, or as I like to refer to it as Hayden's top 40. Since compiling that list last February, 31 of the top 40 have been arrested for a total of 38 arrests. Some arrested more than once, a few so recently on the street, they were wearing GPS monitoring bracelets. I will tell you that we are arresting the most dangerous criminals. Now we need the judges to stop putting them back out on the street. One of our most important initiatives has been our citywide campaign to install outside video surveillance cameras pointed at public areas. Not only have we required bars and late-night stores to install cameras, but we are working with all property owners to help us build a citywide network of cameras, because we know that video cameras, combined with proper lighting, make the city safer. We can see the impact of these initiatives already in just 1 year. Here are the numbers. Homicides are up. Crime is down. Aggravated assaults, down 11%. Forcible rapes, down 23%. Robberies, down 15%. Breaking and entering, down 25%. And here is the most telling statistic. Narcotics search warrants served. In other words, drug raids. In 2013, 38. In 2014, 71, almost double. That is aggressive, relentless pursuit of drug dealers by hard-working detectives. The mission is clear. This is our city, and we will continue to fight for it. Before the end of the month, Chief Hayden will be stepping down and completing his year of service to the city of Brockton. When we said 1 year, we meant 1 year. And it's funny, working with Chief Hayden for the past year, I've never really been exactly sure who was working for who. But the first year of my career as mayor is the last year of the chief's career as a law enforcement officer, and I'll never forget it. Chief, I love you, and thank you for everything that you have done for the people of Brockton.
I, Bob Hayden,
I, Bob Hayden,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much for joining us, and I want to welcome my guest for our first show. He is the interim chief of police right this minute for the time being, until we appoint him police commissioner, but the interim chief of police, Mr. Bob Hayden. Bob, welcome to my first program.
Thank you, sir. It's an
You're my
honor.
first chief of police and my first program.
If I were a law-abiding, decent person in the city of Brockton, Bobby Hayden would be the guy that I'd want to have as police commissioner.
When our administration came in January, the chief and I shared the view that, Brockton was at a critical time in its history in terms of public safety. And that was, we had to make a decision as to whether we were going to passively allow criminals and drug dealers and gang members to take over control of the city, or we were going to fight back and reclaim streets and blocks and neighborhoods for the good people that live here. And so the chief chooses to fight back. I choose to support him doing that.
On the other hand, if I were a criminal and who wanted to disrupt people's lives and to deny them their freedoms and their liberties, Bob, you couldn't have a more serious adversity than Bobby Hayden. He's a person who is determined. Bobby Hayden is not a show horse, he's a workhorse. He's somebody that when you need something done.
And I hope that this will be a clear message is being sent that if you sell drugs in the streets of our city, we will arrest you and put you away. So if you want to sell drugs, go find someplace else. We're not going to tolerate it here.
A couple of months ago, we came up with a list of the 50 worst criminals in Brockton, and today, 2 of the top 5 are no longer wandering the streets of Brockton. They're safely ensconced with us downstairs in a cell block.
The motorcycle officers also carry the chief's vision of true community policing, of getting all police officers to interact with the community. The motorcycle officers are very approachable. People approach them constantly and interact with them in a way that they would have never had the opportunity if that same officer was sitting in a police cruiser with the window rolled up and the AC on. So the motorcycle patrols have had a great impact. And then the most recent thing, if you've been down Legion Parkway, is he put up this tower. He came to me about a month ago and said, I've got a relationship with the transit police and they're willing to lend me this surveillance tower. And it goes about 40 feet up in the air and it's got cameras on it. And I said, Chief, go for it if you think it'll make a difference.
Mayor Carpenter and I got along great because the minute I met him, I knew that he had that type of a personality. And I wouldn't have been, I probably wouldn't have stayed here after what happened to me if I didn't have him to come back to. So I want to also give him a round. He has said he and I are so much alike. They were like Batman and Robin. And I asked him before I leave. I asked him before I leave to tell me who's Robin. Thank you. Cities and communities are made for good people, dads, moms, people that like to use playgrounds, people that like to take their little boy or girl out and hit a baseball too or throw a frisbee. We're not going to let people that aren't champions, that don't like people like us, destroy our way of life. And just thank you very much for listening to me, and appreciate the opportunity. I treasure the time that I'm here, and I'm just honored that I was able to be here for a while and see these guys at work. We're here to try to find the person that did this to this beautiful lady. And thank you for all your help. Thank you. Every time I pass a person on the street that was in worse shape than most of us are, I'd give them $5 or $10. I was sitting down on a wall talking to some of the homeless people down at Perkins Park a couple of days ago, and I really loved them. And I shook hands with them. I hugged them, told them that we care about as much about you as, rich white people. I think that's about it. Let me ask my wife.
That's all for now.
Thank you. Thank you.
The mission is clear. This is our city, and we will continue to fight for it. Before the end of the month, Chief Hayden will be stepping down and completing his year of service to the city of Brockton. When we said 1 year, we meant 1 year. And it's funny, working with Chief Hayden for the past year, I've never really been exactly sure who was working for who. But the first year of my career as mayor is the last year of the Chief's career as a law enforcement officer, and I'll never forget it. Chief, I love you, and thank you for everything that you have done for the people of Brockton.